Sairam students, a warm welcome to another class of English literature. In our last class students, we completed a lesson, His First Flight. Basically, there are two lessons in your section 3. Second lesson is Black Aeroplane, which is written by Frederick Forsyth. If you can see on the left hand up, I have a picture of Frederick Forsyth. Frederick Forsyth is an English author, journalist, spy, and occasional political commentator. His works frequently appear on the bestsellers list, and more than a dozen of his titles have been adapted to films. By 2006, he had sold more than 70 million books in more than 30 languages. Let us understand what this lesson is all about. This lesson, Black Aeroplane, which is written by Frederick Forsyth, it reflects on how one's judgment gets distorted due to fantasizing and how it creates problem for the pilot. In this chapter, the narrator himself is a pilot and he is very eager to meet his family. And because of this, he takes a wrong decision. He enters the storm. But miraculously, he somehow manages to escape. So let's get started with this lesson, students, and understand what exactly happened to the pilot. Before I proceed, students, it's a gentle reminder for all of you to keep your book and a pen handy to jot down all the important points and the important words. So let's begin with our lesson, students. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. So he says that the moon was coming up in the east. Okay, behind me. When he says behind me, which means he is heading towards the west direction. And the stars were shining in the clear sky above me. So he could not see any clouds. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. And he was feeling very happy. It was a safe he was flying very safely and comfortably. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France. So what is Dakota? Dakota is a type of an aeroplane. Over France back to England. So he was flying over France, and where was he heading to? He was heading to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch. 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris Control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. So he was dreaming of a holiday and looking forward to spend quality time with his family. So even when he was flying the plane, he was thinking about his family, that yes, he's got a chance to spend some quality time with them. And when he looked at the watch, it showed 1:30 in the morning. So he decided, let me give a call to the Paris control room. So he looked down past the nose. Nose is the tip of the aeroplane, the front portion. From there he looked down, and what did he see? He saw a big city. He saw the lights of the big city in front of him. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS088 here. Can you hear me? I'm on my way to England. Over. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS088, over. So if you see, students, there is a small conversation over here. He calls up the Paris control room. And what does he say? Paris control, Dakota DS088. This happens to be his code. So he says this is DS088 here, and he asks if they can hear him. And he says, I am on my way to England. He was flying over France. So what did he say? That he is DS088, and he says, he asks them if he can hear them. And then he also mentions that he is flying to England. And then he says over. Why over? Because he is trying to convey to the person on the other side that his conversation is over, and now the person on the other side can start conversing. That's the reason he uses the word over. And immediately he gets a response. DS088, I can hear you. So he asked a question, can you hear me? And he got a reply that yes, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. So, like I told you before, where was he heading to? He was heading to England, and he was going straight. If you remember, the moon was shining behind him. Okay? And now the person has told him to take, he has to take a 12-degree turn towards the west. So now if he is flying straight, he will go this way. Clear, students? And the person also says DS088 over. So basically he was looking for some instructions. Okay, and the person on the other side has told him that you have to take a turn, a 12-degree turn towards the west. And he also says over, which means his conversation is over. I hope, students, till here the lesson is clear to you. Let's proceed further. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and the last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good, big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So what happened after that conversation? He checked the map and the compass. So what's a compass? Compass happens to be a navigational instrument which helps in finding direction. So he checked the map and the compass, and he switched over to the second and the last fuel tank. Okay, and he turned the Dakota 12 degrees west as instructed by the person from the control room, west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast. So students, if you remember, he was thinking about his family. He was thinking about the quality time that he would spend with his family. So what did he think? Okay, fine, I will be on time for breakfast and I am going to have a good big English breakfast, a sumptuous meal. Everything was going well and it was a very easy, a very safe flight so far. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. So when he was flying over France, he did call the Paris control room, and as instructed, he took 12 degrees turn towards the west direction. Now, when he was proceeding further, he says that Paris was 150 kilometers behind, which means he had left Paris 150 kilometers behind him. And then what did he see? He saw clouds, storm clouds, and they were like black mountains standing in front of him. What he knew was he could not fly up over them. It would be very risky. And he did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or the south. Here in the last slide, I did mention that he switched over to the second and last fuel tank. Okay, which means it's an indication that even fuel, he was running low of fuel. Okay, that's the reason he says over here that he did not have enough of fuel because the last tank was on now. So he did not have enough of fuel to fly around in the north or the south direction. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I'll take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. He didn't understand. Paris was 150 kilometers behind him. Okay, he knew he could not go above the clouds. He could not go round and round the clouds because there was not enough of fuel in his plane. So what he decided, then he thought, should I go back to Paris? That question did come to his mind. But then, you remember, I told you he was very happy to, go back home. He wanted to spend that time with his family. He wanted to have a large meal, a large breakfast with his family. So, I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. He was very eager for that breakfast. I'll take the risk. And just because of that, he decides to take that risk. I thought and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. So now he has decided that he will fly into that storm. He will go directly inside the storm. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. So what happened inside? Now he has decided he wants to go, he wants to be with his family, he wants to have that breakfast. So what has he decided? To fly inside the clouds. And once he enters the clouds, what does he see? Everything was black, everything was very dark. And it was impossible to see anything outside. It was so dark that he could not see anything outside. What was happening to his plane? His plane was jumping and twisting. Twisting over here is taking curve course in the air. And then what did he do? He suddenly looked at the compass to understand where he was flying, to which direction he was flying. Whether the direction he's flying towards is right or wrong, he didn't understand. Everything was so dark, he couldn't see anything outside. That's the reason he looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. Paris control, Paris control, can you hear me? So, when he looked at the compass, what happened was he couldn't believe his eyes. He was shocked. What did he see? The compass was turning round and round. The needle was just going round and round. It was not showing any proper direction. It was dead. It stopped working. The other instruments also were suddenly dead. So he decided to use the radio and call the Paris control room. Paris control, can you hear me? So what he decided to call the Paris control room. So again the same question he asked. Paris control, can you hear me? Okay students, let us stop here for the day and let us wait for our next class to see if there was any help from the Paris control room or if there was any other help at that point of time. So I'll stop here for the day and we shall continue the same lesson in our next class. Till then, you will take care of yourselves. Sai Ram. Bye-bye.